Hey, it's Shaves, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. My face is very dark. I mean, that's better. Guys, I have to have like the notepad open. Hope y'all are doing good today. Let's go stream. Let's go. Sorry, I didn't turn that off right away. I also haven't awkward. Doesn't quite fit. I hate that. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope the music and the volumes are fine. Again, I want to make sure at least people can kind of hear it. It's also a little loud for me too, but I can sort of adjust it in my own way, but it's hard to match gauge how the stream sounds, I guess. Maybe there's a certain hack to doing that. Did you notice that? See that? You see those gains? I'm sorry. That's so cringe. I've been working out 2 times a week. Got a food plan going for about a month. It's doing pretty well. Gained some weight, gained some muscle, I think. We'll see. Yeah, so this is the E. We're into E. Hello, is the boy. So this is a small section. It's a small letter. Like, it's not M. It's gonna take us maybe 2 months to go through entirely. It's a lot of pages. But I decided to kind of take it a little easy. It's, not as much material as I usually cover. I think it was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so only 6 pages of the first edition. And so there's not too much that we're going to be talking about. This might only be like an hour and a half. Famous last words! Maybe if I say that it'll be an hour and a half, it will actually be 2 hours. Maybe that's how it works. Shaves on the grind. Yeah, we're going for it. Although I feel like I'm so lazy. Today I fucking woke up till like 10 or 11 a.m. because I was playing Pokemon Arceus till like 2 a.m. I'm addicted to that game, you see. I have about 50 hours in it. And it's been out since Thursday. So, yeah, I like the game. But I won't bore this stream with that or anything. But then I woke up really late, and then I was like, oh right, I gotta work out today. And then I just vegged out for another hour, and then I was like, oh shit, I haven't even started my day taking a shower and getting breakfast and shit. And so I did that, and I'm like, okay, finally I'll do this encyclopedia thing. And thankfully it actually took me kind of a lot, because again, it's kind of small, not as much material. So then I was like, oh, let's start the stream early this time, like 5:30, so that way I could do more in my day, potentially. Like, maybe have dinner on time, like I didn't do last time. Anyway, sorry if this is so much IRL things. Just waiting for some people to come in. But let's get started. Let's just fucking do it. Notes. I swear though, this is gonna be kind of a short stream, so I'm sorry if you missed any at the Bovada or something. Yo, how you guys doing? Hello, Fullwood man. There's so here we go. Some changes in the E. There's really not that much. Like, nothing even that controversial or anything. There's actually an article about early anime in the first edition, and it seems heavily revised. I had not read it. Actually, yeah, I think I did it. I read it and I was like, oh, you know what? This would be good to just read on the stream. Because I don't have too much else. I'm somehow very predictable. Not predictable, but I don't know what the word is. Something where I predicted it, where it wasn't going to use much material. I've been doing pretty well. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's do all the changes first, and then we'll go into early anime, I think. Just try to read this article. And again, it might be kind of redundant information, things we've heard before, but maybe not. I don't know. There's actually an article. Okay, so moved Earth Girl Arjuna to A. There's because like our A for Arjuna, and I was like, oh, the 2001 title, just didn't see it. I just assumed it was a third edition, a new thing for the third edition. But no, there is an article about it in the first edition, and it didn't change other than that. They moved Earth Defense Family to the Daichis. They moved and changed the title. I almost thought this wasn't in the third. I almost thought that this title wasn't in the first edition, and this is like a '90s title, I think. But it was Baguettes no Gohan, eat with baguettes, and they changed it to lunch from a bucket, because it's supposed to mean buckets no Gohan, but they made it baguettes. Okay, yeah, it's easy mistake, because it's they missed the ke get if you know hiragana, like they just missed it, like just misread it or something. This is what it is. Or just a typo somewhere that they copied in, and whatever. At least they caught it now. Eat Man. They nixed famously from. This is funny. There's this quote that they include. It's like, as Mangamax famously observed. And then the third edition they nixed famously, because it's like, who? Mangamax, huh? Who's that? I don't know, actually. Let me, I have yet to Google it myself. Let's Google Mangamax. I wonder if that'll actually show up. Oh, it's an app. Oh, it's just, there's no way I'm finding that. Manga Time Kiara Max is a forge seinen my. Yeah, no, it's lost to obscurity. Fan. It's also kind of a generic name too, so even if like it's like searching up a person's name on the internet and just finding a bunch of like randos as their icons and stuff, like for Google Images or something. Like, you can't find that shit. Oh well, never mind. And then probably a smart idea that he nixed famously out of that. That's pretty funny. And they also added this little blurb, despite the apostrophe in the 98 title, because like it's not supposed. There's a sequel called 8-Man 98, like apostrophe 98, and it makes you think like, oh, it came out in 1998. And I don't think it did, or maybe it did, or it actually just has two meanings. 97. The second season, 8-Man 8. Wait, 8-Man 98. They have it. That's so weird. In the little blurb here for 8-Man. So annoying with the mirror flipping. Where is it? Ah! Where is it? Is it that? No, El Hazard. God damn it. Where is it? Oh yeah, okay. I have my finger on it. Oh, this one. Wait, what? No, it's this one. It's in over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 8-Man. They have it listed as like 24 episodes. It's like one season of 24 episodes, and so I guess they kind of bundled them together or something. If I search 8-Man, they are listed as two series. There's a 12-episode series called 8-Man, and there's a 12-episode series called 8-Man 98, which came out in the fall of 1998. So, like, I mean, it could mean both, but, like, apparently 98 is supposed to actually mean he is the 98th version. Like, he's like, I guess he's like a genetic clone or some genetic experiment, which they, of course, say is a ripoff of Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and yes, of course there's a rip. Of course they're a ripoff. But yeah, they just added that little part, despite the apostrophe, where it's like, well, it could mean both of those things. Anyway, changed Eden's Boy to Eden's Bowie. I think they typoed. I think they typoed in there. Let me double check. Let me just search Bowie. Oh, no, they didn't. They did not typo that. That is not a typo. Huh. Fair enough. That is very interesting. I'm gonna put not a typo, so I can remember that. I mean, this is what the stream's for, but whatever. Eden's Bowie. Okay. Anyway, have to look at the chat. All right. Changed efficace to efficace. All right. See, it's literally just changing like the titles. There was I couldn't find almost any like real slight changes in that way. They moved or changed Yakumo Tatsu. So they have Yakumo Tatsu in the first edition, and then in the third edition it's listed as 8 Clouds Rising. So it is strange to me. Why didn't they translate this? Like, I would be fine with them listing it like that. That's kind of what I was expecting for this encyclopedia. And then they have their own little system of like, oh no, all the names are localized, you know? Or they cut off the first and second of the if the show has a tertiary name, so like Neon Genesis Evangelion, they're gonna list it Evangelion. Or Space Runaway Ideon, Giveaway Ideon, or Revolutionary Girl Utena, etc. So that's how but then otherwise they just kind of, I don't know why they didn't translate that. That is interesting. Maybe it's just, they fixed it, so that's what it is. 11 Cats, they changed, this is kind of funny, croquet potato to potato croquet. Oh, I see. It's a croquet made of potato, not a potato made of croquet. Kind of, they're just a little brain fart on their end. It's okay. Apparently 8-Man is pretty popular in Argentina, according to TV Tropes. Interesting. Oh, the goated track. Oh yes. It's good. It's good. I'm sorry. It's cringe, but why am I so cringed tonight? I don't know why. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. No. Okay. So there's some new entries, I think. Again, this is always like they change things around, like things almost get completely lost. I have to be really sure that something isn't in here or whatever. Like I almost couldn't find fucking Eaten with Baguettes or whatever. Baguettes. So Echant the Ninja, Saratobi something, and then Elven Train Arrived. Kind of a lame name, honestly. But like I said, searched the Japanese names and like I can't find them in here. And also like the staff, like some major staff names and stuff, and see if I could cross-reference, and nothing. Okay. I should probably... No, it's okay. Positive opinions! Oh! There was only one! Curious what music you're playing in the background. I will link it. It's the soundtrack to Tanashi Mumanika, Fun Family Moomin Troll. It's a show from the 90s, based on a Finnish series of books. I have a video about it on my channel, actually. Really old video, but I can say that now. That's an old video. But it is an old video, like the 4th or 5th video I ever made. Pretty weird. Cool, though. And it's about escapism. And yeah, I used this soundtrack in that video, of course, too, because it's very good. Yeah, love that show. Anyway, positives. They like El Hazard. It's a masterful comedy. Although they do mention that the subsequent OVAs are a slow decline into hackery. They just kind of repeat some jokes, or it's like, here we go again, and it just feels kind of like redundant. Sounds right. You know, I can imagine that happening. And they do draw a connection to Tenchi Muyo as well. I've not seen Tenchi Muyo, but then their phrasing of it and framing it here, because it's the same creators too. They're not just kind of like, oh, it's like this show. Like they are. There's a funny error later on that's kind of like, oh, it's like this show, and it's like that person had nothing to do with this show. We'll see. But like, yeah, I honestly kind of agree with them in this. I do think there are some anime that overstay their welcome in terms of like trying to peddle and get more like more out of it and make a franchise out of it kind of thing. Um, Although it's certainly that particular model of OVAs doesn't happen anymore. I actually know about moving from a Game Boy Color game I found by accident. Never watched it though. Yeah, the book series is my favorite. The original book series. That's really great stuff. Like it's a children's. It's for children in a way, but it is. I'm not gonna. It covers adult themes, right? Not even that much. It really is just like really awesome prose, really mature, funny, imaginative, really endearing. I love the books. Love them so much, and they have they think I said that for the children's books, they're not like picture books. They're novels. They're not novel. Like, I don't know. Like maybe YA is the equivalent for it. Yeah. This one's my favorite. This is not the original copy I had when I first read it, but this is like the kind of like the very uniform release. This is like there's like 8 books, but like they have, it's really deep. It's kind of like why adult? It's like young adult prose, but they have a lot of illustrations that the author also drew. It's not like Roald Dahl where like the illustrator is like Quentin Blake, but there could be different books that have different illustrations or maybe no illustrations. Tove Jansson also like drew everything. There's this particular one that's really good. And her art is incredible. That's the other thing. Her art is fucking incredible. Like, it's so nice. Like, really pointillism, really good detail, quirky. And yeah, I love this. I love this series. And then it has 3 anime series. One of them, you can't hear me. One of them, like Miyazaki worked on, like I forget the studio, but like the 1969 and 1972 versions have some pretty classic staff on them, and then they weren't very faithful to the series, to the books, so they didn't work on that property for a while. But then they were interested. The estate was interested again in Japan animating a series for them. Only they made sure that they had direct oversight, that they were actually faithful to the book and the comics. There are comics as well, and it's great. It is really polished, like really nice. It's kind of the ideal way to experience movement, in my opinion. But I do think I have been persuaded since recently to really respect and at least kind of maybe even check out the 1969 and 1972 series, even though I don't think any of them are subbed. 72 is starting to get subbed a little bit, but not really. Anyway, yeah, the slow decline into hackery, I kind of understand that perspective. Anyway, that's the only positive review they had. Here's 4 more negative reviews from them. Earthian. Interesting premise stretched in all kinds of hack directions by a crew that seems unable to decide what to do. Oh, wow. There was something, I have to say, there was something about this reading that a lot of titles seemed really interesting to me. I don't know what it was. I didn't write all of them down, but, we'll check them out. 8-Man they didn't like. It's a quagmire of setups and showdowns, good and bad, of limited budget, rip-off of like Akira and Ghost in the Shell and all this other stuff. Storytelling shoddy and illogical. There's another odd choice I'll talk about later, I think. Air Guys, a blatant Gundam rip-off, mundane children's robot show, cheap, supposedly amusingly referential, or parodic, I believe is what they also called it, but really just plain dull. There's something about their description of that I wanted to point out. Air Guys. I don't know the name. Aries. Okay. It's really interesting. When they describe this, and remember, this is what they think is a Gundam ripoff. The next orbital colony declares independence from Earth. That is very Gundam. Starting a war of secession, fought with giant robots called metal vehicles. Classic Tomino. I actually checked the bio to Tomino, even though I knew I've never heard of Air Guys, and I was like, I'm almost positive that's not Tomino. I wanted to see who it was. Like, that sounds like a Tomino show. Meanwhile, the terrorist organization Terra, led by the telepathic boy Hal, telepathic, yeah, I can see that with new types, fights the Earth government from within, as the next forces, the next with a capital N, the next forces search desperately for the legendary S superweapon that will turn the tide of the war. Oh yeah. On a wrecked colony satellite, a group of part-time pirates turn out to be the best pilots of the lot, and the scene is set for a blatant Gundam ripoff. Yeah, I can see that. But this is one part that they're kind of maybe just like, oh yeah? Because I'm always on my guard when they call something a ripoff or something like that. It just seems very reductive to me. Like, I do think you should, you should approach the show on its own merits and not just be like, it's Gundam! You know what I mean? Even if it's a Gundam title. Even if it's Gundam X, right? You're not going to be like, oh, here we go again with Gundam. Even if it says Gundam on the title. I do think you should approach some of these shows from their own merits and the creators behind them. But there's this one section I wanted to read. I'm trying to find it. And no matter how old the original target audience, it was bound to be bewildered by the baffling array of sides in the war, with 2 nations, 2 freelance groups, and, as the plot advances, a newly arrived alien civilization to boot. And I'm like, well, that's different from Gundam. That's pretty different. So it's like, I don't know. That's just me again, trying to find being the optimist, I guess. Damn. Manga Max was UK magazine Clements edited. Oh, okay. Interesting. Fair enough. Fun fact, someone just fan translated the El Hazard visual novel for Game Boy Advance. Oh, nice. Hi, Shades. Hope not too late. Oh, no, we're just getting in here, getting started, basically. But it's not going to be a very long stream, I'll tell you that, Alice. But I'm happy you're here. Where was I? Okay, Elsia. Only remarkable... This is rough. The only remarkable thing about this tedious fantasy is all aspects are uniformly poor. They went in with a fork and knife on that one. It's doomed from the scripting stage. Sheesh. Never heard of it. Mixed. Eden's Boy. They just mentioned there's a bizarre love triangle. I was like, that seems like your opinion. But, I could be wrong. Elfie. I did call this a mixed because it's like, they're not really owning to this. Elfie is the anime that Kenny Lauderdale talked about with, that was like a blatant Nausicaa ripoff. Like, he's kind of comparing the two and stuff like that. The thumbnail's a banger, and the video did really well for him. Elfie, cynics might call a marine replay of Nausicaa. An Elven Bride. Ultimately, it's an excuse to see what Lotus War's Deedlit would look like without clothes. Yeah. That's kind of like a nice dig on it, I guess. But it wasn't like a negative, per se. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know about this mixed one. Again, I do have to really go back through with that and try to decide on it. What's the utility of it, really? I guess the utility ultimately is just how many of these articles do, in my opinion, do they spout an opinion? Okay. There was a short article in one of those, but I haven't checked. Again, I have to really finagle that. I repeat this every stream, and I'm sorry. I never fix it. I've never gone back. It's because it's always, I don't know. I have other stuff I'm doing right now. I still like doing this a lot. Okay, so they do some spoilers. 8-man in the finale. Elementalors. What a title. Elementalors. Seemingly describes the entire plot. It's like 75 minutes, and they describe a lot of plot, and I'm like, seems like a lot. Seems like all of it to me. And then Elfie, they do basically recount the entire movie. There's like, oh, in the end, this happens. It's like, okay. We're already on Odd Choices, and it's 30 minutes. Yeah, sorry, it's gonna be a short stream. You know what? I did say, I'm so sorry. I did say we were gonna read that early anime article. So let's do that now. Early anime. The first Japanese animated film, Mukuzo Imokawa the Doorman from 1917. So this is before they discovered Kasudo Shashin, which we talked about when we read about their other early anime article. I thought that the Nadia ripoff was called The Secret of Cerulean Sands. I guess there are multiple Nadia clones out there. No, this was a Nausicaa thing. Elfie, and I do see the parallels, like, seriously, where it's like, in places, where, it's a kind of a apocalyptic future, and this girl protagonist is, on one side, but she gets affections for the other side, and she kind of wants both of them to stop fighting, and yeah, I don't want to spoil both of them. Just the way they described and the way it progressed, I was like, I can see that, and it reminded me of Kenny's video. I was like, this plot seems familiar, and it was. So I agree with that. And the thought the Nadia ripoff, The Secret of Cerulean Sands. Oh yeah, so yeah, I misheard Nadia. Oh yeah, fair. Anyway, let me just read this. Okay. It was a 5-minute short by Oten Shimokawa, a 26-year-old amateur filmmaker who had formerly been an editorial assistant on Tokyo Puck magazine. The Okinawa-born Shimokawa drew in ink straight onto the film, making 5 short films in a single 6-month period before returning to newspaper cartoon illustration. I remember reading that, where he only did that for a period of time, just seems like as a hobby or whatever. It's interesting. Another early animator, Seitaro Kitayama. Yeah, I remember this. I guess it's not that revised, all things considered. Another early animator, Seitaro Kitayama, preferred fairy tales and legends to humor. Sorry. Producing early versions of Monkey and the Crab, Momotaro, and Taro the Guardsman. Though these were all lost in the 1923 Tokyo earthquake. Other notable silent era animators include another Tokyo Puck alumnus, Junichi Kochi, who made Sword the Hawakanai, and Sanai Yamamoto, whose The Mountain Where Old Women Are Abandoned is the earliest anime still extant. The earliest anime still extant, 1924. These recorded the first edition in 2001. Animation remained a cottage industry throughout the 1920s, and with most pioneers working in small home studios, though they came to be financed by Japanese theatrical companies, which provided production money in exchange for distribution rights. Legends and funny animal stories were the trend in the 1920s, including Nobuo Ufuji's early animations of Journey to the West and Urashima Taro, which were made by animating paper cutouts, and Yasui Murata's Animal Olympics. Anime's first sequel was The Pirate Ship, a continuation of the previous year's Monkey Island, in which a young child cast adrift has adventure on the high seas. By this time, however, filmmakers were feeling the pressure for militarism, and Yasushi Murata's Aerial Momotaro was the first of the wartime anime. After the release of the talkie The Jazz Singer, it was also only a matter of time before anime also experimented with sound. The first was Ofuji's Whale, a silhouette animation synchronized to the William Tell overture. He followed this up with the cutout animation Kuro Nyago, using Tojo's East Phone sound system, anime's first genuine talkie, and only 90 seconds long. The first talkie to use an optic track, as with modern films, was Kenzo Masaoka's World of Power and Women, the tale of a henpecked salaryman husband who begins an affair with a younger woman. Noboru Ufuji was also a pioneer in the development of color anime, but although he made a 2-color version of his Golden Flower, the version released to the public was still in monochrome. The first color anime actually released was Megami Asano's My Baseball. I think that's shorter. I do remember pretty much all that information in the 3rd edition, pretty much. But I think there's a little bit more in the 3rd one, which is nice. I was just looking up the El Hazard game. Apparently it was a Sega Saturn game that was ported to GBA by the translators, so it would be easier to emulate. That's dedication. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Odd choices. Only a couple of them. Let's go to the good ones first. Alright, let me... So this is Elves of the Forest article. It had a nice little bit of trivia in it, and honestly, this is the kind of trivia I like seeing, and would be really bad. I kind of want more of in this, and less of their opinions. But Elves of the Forest features one of anime's youngest voice actresses, played by designers, but I guess the character designers, or designers, they just say designers, 4-year-old daughter. It's really interesting. I was impressed. And speaking of the voice actors, that reminds me of this note that there was one article I was reading that I was just, it was one of their negative reviews where they were criticizing the dub. Or no, they were praising one of the dubs. So I was like, wow, they really did a great job with localizing it into the English language type of thing. I realized they very often are talking about English dub quality and sometimes the translation, but never the Japanese performances. And obviously that kind of like contradicts with up here, played by designer's 4-year-old daughter. But actually, honestly, for the most part. And the thing is also is that they say at the beginning, like, we can't really list a bunch of seiyus because that's just going to be a whole other fucking thing. Same with animators, which is why they don't talk about animators as much. Like, I get that they're drawing lines and limits to this and, you know, setting boundaries. I get that, especially with big projects. It's a good idea. But it is weird that they're like, oh, we have this little loophole where, well, we also want to really put an emphasis on the English localization of these titles. So we can criticize an anime because it has a bad dub, you know? And then I think some fans might really protest that, being like, just because it has a bad dub makes it worse? You know? It's the dub is ancillary. Am I right? Am I using the term the right way? Ancillary? Where it's an added feature. It's not unless it's Cypher, or it's these other titles where like it's explicitly in one language. Auxiliary, providing necessary support to the primary activities or operation of an organization, institution, industry. A person who works provides necessary support to the primary. Yeah, I don't think I'm using auxiliary quite right. Meh. But it's second. Like the dub is just like an accessory, and you're criticizing the show for not having a good enough accessory. Right? That's a little weird to me. But, you know, they have other reasons to not like it. They don't like... there was one instance, I remember one, where they were like, oh, unfortunately the dub doesn't quite do a good job with localizing it, so a lot of people are going to be lost, or whatever. And I guess that's... I understand that's a factor, but how much of a factor is it nowadays at least? I don't know. Something to think about. Also, the other thing while I'm still here, what was the thing that showed up? It was, I was reading 8 Man, and they talked about, like, this shows the good and bad of a limited anime budget. Let's see if the right phrasing of this. Yeah. The 8 Man shows both the good and bad aspects of a limited budget. And I was like, wait a minute. Budget? And I controlled F how many times budget shows up in the 3rd edition. 125 times. And I'm interested. I would be interested in compiling kind of like how are they using that word, right? Are they really only you know? Because what if hypothetical? What if they perpetuated this anime budget myth that's like such a touchy subject for some anime fans these days? And maybe it's not for some people, but it is a frequent bit of disinformation in terms of like literally like, oh, the animation looks good, therefore this is a very expensive anime. It's not necessarily the case, right? But we'll see. I did want to look a little closer into that, but not right now. There's another word, misspellings that I used. I was like not sure what it meant. Titles of I'll do that later at the end. Good one. Yep, we did that. Let's do some odd choices. So Earth Girl Arjuna, I'll repost this in my patron Discord just as like a note. Just like a funny. So we're watching Arjuna right now in my patron Discord as a group watch, and they have this sentence that it passed me by because I did read this when I was reading A, but this was way back in September or October or something, where like I hadn't watched Arjuna yet, where I didn't really look up, and I'm not trying to I'm not like seeking out trying to viciously fact check them or something. That's not what I'm doing. It really is. There is one later over here, Elf Princess Rain Cardcaptor Sakura, where it was a fluke. It was literally my eye happened to glance at a name. I'll talk about that later. But like, I don't go out and viciously fact check. It really is more like I notice these things and then I do the research myself, and then it just happens to find. I just happen to find it. But yeah, so like there's the description was. Let me read the full context. So they describe the plot to Arjuna. They describe the plot to Arjuna, and then they were like, or in other words, Escaflowne, but traveling in time instead of space. Like, I know what they mean by space, as in like she's traveled to a different world. My problem is that like Arjuna is not traveling through time, unless it happens in episode. What episode am I on? Unless it happens episode 10, 11, 12, or 13. I don't know what they're talking about. What do you mean they're traveling through time? So I think it's because they say young teenager is in an accident and receives a vision of life on Earth in the future. It's a vision. That's not that doesn't mean she's being teleported to the future. Like, that's not Escaflowne. Arjuna's just not I don't know where they're getting Escaflowne from. And what I think they're getting Escaflowne from is that Shoji Kawamori's involved in it. They literally think that just because Shoji Kawamori is doing is the director, and he's also the guy who did Escaflowne, that means they're the same thing. Or in other words, Escaflowne, but traveling in time instead of space. No? No? Huh? And I guarantee you, if they actually watched this show, they would have their opinion about it. They don't have an opinion here. I mean, as much as it seems like that's their opinion, right? That's plenty. But like, I mean, by opinions, I'm looking more for like, this show is bad, or like sloppy writing, or judging some factor of the quality. But like, they're just trying to make like they are trying to just title drop, because again, right, one of the features is that each of the articles need to have a name referenced, and then that will want people to hop into a different, like, explore different parts of the encyclopedia, basically, and read it longer, basically. But yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know. Yeah, so I'll talk to my patrons about that. That'll be funny. Anyway, easy cooking animation. Yeah, come on. This is so dumb. Okay, this is the entire article for one thing. This is the one that's like super short. There's a couple of these that are just like very, very short. The entire article is a set of handy hints for cooking, including advice on preparing noodles, salad, hot pots, and pizza, from the studio that gave you Wicked City. I get what they're trying to do. I get it. They're trying, again, the title drop that we just talked about, but they're trying to give that sense of wacky contrast. Like, whoa, the same studio that made Wicked City, this thing you've definitely heard about, also made this innocuous cooking show. Whoa, right? Except it's Madhouse. The studio they're talking about is Madhouse. You know, the studio that's made over 100 anime across the entire spectrum of like, they've made a ton of anime, and not a lot of them are not Wicked City. It's just so weird because again, it's that thinking of like, and a lot of fans do this too, where it's like, whoa, the same studio who did this show, where they're not really talking about the staff who made this show. If it was by the guy, like, when you say Kill la Kill is by the guys who did Gurren Lagann, you would be right. Not even like because they're different studios, but it's the same director and the same writer and the same producer. I'm pretty sure Otani was also involved in Kill la Kill. You know, it's that trio, and they also did Promare, and then you can literally see the similarities between the three of them. Anyway, so I actually looked into the director of this show, Easy Cooking Animation, and he's not done a whole lot. He's also the only one, I think, that's credited here. He's literally the only staff person that's credited, period, in the Encyclopedia and on like ANN, I'm pretty sure. And you look who he is. His name is Toshio Hirata, and he's the Pet Shop of Horrors guy, director of Pet Shop of Horrors. He also directed the first Unico movie. So it's like, that's interesting. That's something I want to know about, but not like the fucking studio who made Wicked City. That doesn't help me. That does not help me, especially if it's Madhouse. Like, come on. If it's the creators, but that's one thing. Hey, yeah, Aldai, good to see you. Yeah, it's not Arjuna at all. Today, wow, it's made. Let's see. Yeah, so that was weird. I was like, you could have, if you wanted that shock value of like, whoa, the guy who made the horror show made this cutesy pizza show. You know, like, you could have had that. But like, my constructive, if this is anyway constructive at least, is like, say it's by the director of Pet Shop of Horrors. That would have worked. Anyway. 8man, 98. Despite a high-quality translation in the English language version. Okay, I have to read the whole. Oh, you didn't give the context. But much of the storytelling remains shoddy and illogical, despite a high-quality translation in the English language version, far better than this show really deserves. I'm getting to get on my hype. I gotta get on my soapbox again. Every single anime deserves a high-quality translation. Am I crazy to think that? Am I too nice? Like, do you... It would be terrifying. This is literally like, imagine these people were these people were working in the industry. Like, they worked on Beast Wars and shit. Like, you have the mentality of like, this show doesn't deserve a good translation. What? It's really bad. It's not a good look, in my opinion. Mal has some staff listings for it. The cooking show. Okay, cool. Yeah, I hate when people credit studios for the work of the individual staff members. The studio doesn't just wave a wand and magically produce a hit show. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. About the high quality translation. It's not hard. Do your best with even if you don't like the show. You know what I mean? It really deserves... I think that there's a lot of artistry and hard work that's put into it. Maybe even if the creators didn't give a shit, even if they're like, yeah, whatever, like, are you gonna like it reminds me of this interview that Ollie Barter, he just interviewed Yasuhiko. Yasuhiko. I always forget his first name because it's a bit of a tongue twister. Yasutoni Yasuhiko or something. I'm so bad. He interviewed Yas, alright? Yas! And Yasuhiko was mentioning how... Because Ollie was actually wearing his Giant Gorg t-shirt. And he's like, there's just so many new fans of your work, Giant Gorg. And he's like, well, thank you. That's a failure. I consider that show a failure because it wasn't financially successful at the time. Yasuhiko actually makes a distinction where he's like, if it wasn't successful financially at the time of its release, then it's considered a failure to me. It's nice that people looked at it after the fact, but that's why he washes his hands and kind of moves on from it. And he's like, oh, I'm actually not that good at animation, because he has, in his track record of Venus Wars, Arian, they're not Akira numbers. They didn't pop off in the same way. So that was why he ultimately retired from animation, and thankfully he's back and he's been asked to do more projects and stuff. Oh wow, I didn't know you were streaming tonight. Yeah, sorry, I have such... I don't like I always get scared of promising things like this way in advance in case it doesn't happen, and I would feel extra shitty. So I just have to... And also, I hadn't done the reading yet, and I wasn't... It's a whole thing. So, sorry if I'm always, kind of spontaneous about it. I mean, hentai doesn't need that high quality of a translation. I mean, you could if you want. Jokes aside, I agree with your point. Yeah, I mean, there are some things that does everything deserve perfection? I would like that, but I understand it's not possible. It's not feasible for a lot of these titles, especially when even if it's a title that's going to even if it's one that's going to sell well, there's only so much where before it's going to be not cost efficient. Like with Project A-ko, they could have done more passes on that visual restoration, but they had to stop because there was just too much, right? And you'd never get this stuff absolutely perfect. I'm not looking for that kind of thing, but the mentality of this show is not good, therefore we should not put that much work into it is really bad. It's not a good idea. Anyway, where was I talking about? 8-man, Air Guys, streaming. I'm so sorry I'm all over the place. Apparently Argentina loves it, basically One Piece. I forget what I was talking about. Dang. Sorry. I think we're good. I'm sorry, apologies to future me where I was like, no, it was a good point or something. Okay. Anyway, Air Guys. This was an interesting observation. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm wondering of your guys' perspective on this. Certainly, there was no adult content to otherwise justify its broadcast time. What they're talking about is that this was a show that was aired on late-night television. Which is a lot of anime, by the way. I'm trying to find where they say that. Originally broadcast on Japanese late-night TV, the production may as well have been dumped in the graveyard shift as a cheaper alternative to video. Certainly, there is no adult content to otherwise justify its broadcast time. I don't know. I'm interested. Because, there's probably a lot of anime like that. And Air Guys is from 1997. So the late-night idea of late-night anime, I'm pretty sure is something that was popularized after Evangelion. So Air Guys is kind of an early adopter of this, all things considered. And this is in the first edition, where 2001, where it's not as prevalent of an idea nowadays. But this was not changed in the third edition. It was not revised. So I would like to assume that they still kind of believe in this. And so it's sort of like a weird thing. Does the show's content have to match the demographic that should be turning in at certain periods of time? I think the logic would be yes, but clearly that logic is not being followed, right? So what is the logic, right? it's not the truth. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I was a bit torn on it, because like that logically makes sense to me, and yet that's not the case, as we can see. And I don't have like the data or numbers to back it up. This is sort of colloquial knowledge on my part. And maybe you can disprove this. That's great if you can disprove that there's no influx of late night anime, and a lot of them. How many of them justify their broadcast time, right? I'm interested in that. Interested to know you guys' take on that. Anyway, last thing. This is kind of this was the one that I like caught my eye, and it was a fluke, basically. A fluke that I found this. Elf Princess Rain, they say, let me read the whole, not the whole article, but like, meanwhile, in this genuinely funny comedy, did I even write that? I think I actually got distracted by this point that I didn't even write that it was a genuinely funny comedy, at least to their mind. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Elf Princess Rain. Genuinely funny comedy. Shame. Sadly, never made it past episode 2. Apparently Air Guys has some violent imagery, so maybe that's why it aired late at night. I haven't watched it, just googled it right now. I haven't even looked at it. I don't even know what it looks like. But yeah, maybe. Apparently it's very kiddie. Very childish, according to their description of it. Let me read their description a little closer. Though the English language translation tries to spice up the language somewhat, it is a perfectly mundane children's robot show, with animation so cheap that the robots slide everywhere instead of walking. And no matter how old the original target, yeah, describe that otherwise. Yeah, they're very kind of harsh on it. They're like, the only thing, the series is best remembered for spawning a PlayStation game in which the characters from Final Fantasy VII made cameo appearances, which is hardly a recommendation. Fair enough. Yeah. But they were positive about that one. But with with Rune here, where is it? Sorry, it takes me forever to get to this fucking point. Meanwhile, in this genuinely funny comedy from the director of Cardcaptors, Go's sisters, just 3 of a veritable, are taking something blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, oh, cool. And I glance up, like I literally move my eyes upwards to do something, and I see the word Daichi. Akitaro Daichi? Yeah, Akitaro Daichi is the director of Elf Princess Rain. Wait a minute. Really? Cardcaptors? I didn't know they did. I didn't know Daichi directed Cardcaptors. So let me look at the Cardcaptors. Let me go back in this encyclopedia and Cardcaptors. Director Akitaro Daichi and Morio Asuka. Right there. The goat track. The goat track's playing. Oh. Akitaro Daichi. Right there. I'm like, huh. Really? I'm surprised. I didn't know he did that. Huh. Let me double check that. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. I just tried to control F Daichi and nothing came up. Actually, the way I first found out about it was I looked up Cardcaptor Sakura like this. Oh, yeah, like damn, listen. Oh. And hey, Wikipedia is not a trustworthy source. Anime News Network, they got the one. Morio Asakawa. Okay. Maybe he directed one of the movies or something? Well, let's just look up Daichi on Mal. Also not an incredibly, reliable source. But hey. Key. There's the boy. Most recent? Alphabetical, please. Fruits Basket. It's not here. He didn't direct anything of Cardcaptor Sakura. Oh well, that's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so that was an interesting write. I was like, what? And I wouldn't have found that otherwise. Because again, I don't look at the blurb with the director or the script or all that, and I'm not trying to scrutinize and fact check them really. I'm assuming they're right, and they're usually right 99% of the time. But it's only so often where I'm finding these certain and it's usually when it's the bigger names that like, wow, I know Akitaro Daichi, and I know Cardcaptor Sakura, and I didn't know they were connected. Oh, it turns out they weren't connected, right? So like only in those instances where like I can find this stuff, but otherwise, like, you know, but it's not a great look because then it's like, if you're wrong about this stuff, what else are you wrong about that we don't know about, right? It's not great to have errors like this and to have them not corrected in 14 years, like from the first edition to the third edition. And if it is correct, why hasn't the internet why hasn't this been corrected yet? Like, is it on Japanese Wikipedia perhaps? I'm sorry, I have not checked the chat yet. Let me just look up this is how I look up on Japanese Wikipedia. I'm sorry, I'm not even showing this. Let me pull up on the desktop. Cardcaptor Sakura. Okay. Well, let me also look up, Clear Card, author, Clo Card edition, directed by Morio Asakawa. Morio. Let me just look up Akitaro Daichi again. And then Control F. That kanji? No, that is not showing up. Nope. I mean, the Japanese Wikipedia doesn't know about it, and yeah, that's not a great source, I guess. Perhaps. Yeah, sorry I haven't been reading the chat. Let's read it now. Well, you don't need to have adult content to target an adult audience. Right. I agree. The PS1 game has nothing to do with the anime, it's just the same name. OP, I just watched, is pretty cool. Has a lot of flashing lights at times, though. Fair. I mean, I watched Adult Swim as a kid, so I feel like kids can handle more mature content than we give them credit for. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely. But the reverse is also true. Sometimes adults just want to relax with some harmless moe fun. Exactly. I agree. True. Did they fix it in the third edition? No, I found it in the... actually, no, I found it in the first. I'm almost positive it's not fixed in the third, but let's find out. Card... Where are you? Nope. It's right there. Let's pull that up. There we go. Cardcaptors. Boop. Okay. And then again, well, the thing is, I knew it wasn't changed because I also look up Elf. Sorry, I'm showing so much. I usually don't do this. Elf Princess. Rain. Meanwhile, in the genuinely funny comedy from the director of Cardcaptors, It's reinforced in 2 articles, in the Cardcaptor article and in this one. They really think he did it. I don't get it. Maybe it's true. Was there someone else called Daichi who worked on Cardcaptor Soccer? I feel like they may be mixing 2 people up. No, you literally look up Daichi, like Control F, and there's not even like it's not even a different Daichi, like Akitaro or something. Like, no. And you also look on Akitaro Daichi's profile, and you also don't find any Cardcaptors. I don't know how they could make this connection at all. I meant the PS1 game called Air Guys has something to do with the anime. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, I don't think I don't know if they're mixing 2 people up. They also list Morio Asuka as a director on Cardcaptors in the Encyclopedia. So I don't know what's going on. Like, it's also directed by Daichi, apparently. I'm interested. That's certainly a revelation. But you know what? The way you would find that out for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, is the OP. Maybe it shows up in the OP. I was thinking the credits also, and I didn't want to just look up the credits because kind of want to take could have taken a while. But the EDs wouldn't be so fat. Wouldn't take too long. Let's find out. Creditless blue. No, I want credits. No, I want credits. FOMO is. Sorry. I'm gonna put it on mute because I don't want that copyright shit. I'm gonna scroll to the ending because that's usually where the ED shows up. Wait, what? Oh, this isn't it. Ugh, this is like the full version of, it's like an AMV of the first OP. English 8 is, no, it's Cardcaptors, no! I am a dreamer, it's in the power. It's all creditless. That doesn't help me! No! Literal goddamn it. Well, let's see if Crunchyroll still has Cardcaptor Sakura on their site. Still streaming on my end? Okay. I have it on my phone. Sorry this takes a little... Maybe I'm buffering for time a little bit because it's an hour far and I'm like, oh, we're almost done anyway. This is like literally the last thing that I can think of. Is there other things? No, I think we could also go into some titles I'm now interested in, kind of looking up these 3 a little bit. We'll do that in a second. But I'm looking up the sub episode 1. Animation Madhouse, animation producer. I don't know what that list is next to producer there. Let's look. I think I still have the Japanese. No, I don't. Ugh. Sorry if I'm doing the little dive on stream. Hope you find this kind of interesting. Japanese, please. Staff? Yes, staff. I'm trying to compare kanji here. Trying to find what this particular one is. Oh, found it. What are you under? Producer. Executive producer. Okay. So this is executive producer next to that. Oh. Maybe director shows up later? I'm at the end of the OP. Nope. Okay. I have to scroll through more of the OP, I guess. Gotta watch the whole thing. Sorry if I'm not doing this on stream and stuff, and it's like on my phone. Clamp. Dum 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 dum. It's a good OP. That's a great OP. And I'm sorry again, I'm not showing it on stream. You guys can look it up if you want. It's a Cardcaptor Sakura OP1. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? I love that show. I like that show. I love the first chunk. Jansu. Design, costume, and card design. Oh, wow, that's cool. They have a separate designer for those things. What's that? I should just look for Morio Asuka's kanji. It looks like that. Okay. Just gonna look for that particular kanji. This is how I do it. You're seeing it firsthand. For my research for my videos and shit. Get you. That's the OP. Oh! There he is! Director. I mean, you can't, it's hard to translate it and stuff, but... Focus! Come on! It's my phone! You can focus, come on! It's at that point in the OP. Up! Yes, you can kind of see that. It's also reversed and shit, I think. No, it's not reversed. Yeah, that's it. That's Morio Asuka. Director. Kantoku. I saw the director entry in the OP. It lists Morio Asuka. I looked up the second OP. No Daichi. We already found 2 major mistakes in this book. Great. 2? I think there's more than 2. But in terms of major mistakes, sure. I would say high profile mistake. Where it's like... really high profile director attached to really high profile show. I think the other one was Blue Gender. I think. Well, that was... Takahashi was listed in that one. I think he wasn't listed. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, but yeah. Sorry to dwell so much on that. But it's like, you read that and you're like, but they gotta have better sources than me. Granted, it's 2001. They don't really have the internet as we have it right now. You know, I'm not holding my knowledge against theirs. But I would argue because the 2015 version, which they have a lot of revised things, and I am documenting painstakingly every revision to show that they definitely revised it. They definitely had to have gone through every single one. Or like, in the 15 years where they had the email listed in the book where it's like, do you have any corrections? Send them to us. Right? Nobody corrected them on that? Ass! The fucking anime fans. I will blame the anime fans. I will not blame Helen or John for this, because this is a lot of information. Of course you're gonna get stuff wrong. Like, no doubt. But it's still interesting. It's still like the interesting idea of like this high profile director with this show. That's why I said major. Yeah, fair. Yeah. So, at this point, got about 50 minutes of your normal 2-hour stream. I don't think I'm going to go that long. I'll probably stop at about 1:30. It's about 20 more minutes-ish. Fish, dish, sandwich. So let me know what you want me to read if you are curious in any of these articles, particularly from E to Elfen Lied. I've not read the Elfen Lied one because that's a 3rd edition entry. I just, you know, with these titles at the end there, I like to just choose titles that are people know or kind of recognize, right? And like the 1st edition didn't have anything until Escaflowne. Like they had El Hazard. I guess I could have chosen El Hazard, but that's not that many articles. It would have been even less. I would have covered even less material. So, yeah, that's why. I'm really curious where they got the credit now. Like, it's right there in the OP. That's the thing. I don't think they are checking every anime OP. They're not cross-sourcing at every single one of these. I'm pretty sure they're getting their sources from magazines, television listings. They have a selected bibliography here of books, magazines. That's it. Books and magazines. But the thing is, fans are very meticulous and diligent, so they are crediting from the OP a lot of the time. Maybe they translated the kanji wrong? No! They also put Morio Asuka in the Cardcaptor article, saying it was director... And that's the other... So they list Daichi first, and then Morio Asuka next to him. So it wasn't like instead of Morio Asuka. It's Akitaro Daichi and Morio Asuka. How? Where? why did you put that? You know? Let me, you know what? Maybe look a little deeper. I'm spending way too much time on this. If you guys want me to read a particular article, let me know. I think I exited my... Oh, fuck. I'm so stupid. I kept that tab open months. Damn. Thankfully, I have it bookmarked. Hakenden. Where am I? Yeah, let's Control F Daichi. It's got 70 results. I'm gonna put Akitaro Daichi because there's a lot of other things that are showing up. Director Akitaro Daichi, Morio Asuka, Akitaro Daichi. Written by Jubei-chan the Ninja Girls, Akitaro Daichi. Director Akitaro Daichi. Hanako of the Toilet, directed by Akitaro Daichi. In talking about Jubei-chan the Ninja Girl, amid a cynical challenger of the weak formula, creator Akitaro Daichi has the temerity to write himself into the story as Jubei-chan's narcoleptic father, somehow appropriate since he could have well written this in his sleep. Nice. Daichi. Let me look up. I'm sorry, I don't have the chat open. I never read, so I'm so bad at this. You think they would have cross-checked before crediting a series to a major director? Twice. That's the thing. Twice. It's not just in Cardcaptors. It was in the Elf Princess Reign. That was the other thing I was gonna do. Let me do that. But this is enough. We've proved it enough of a point. Or at least tried to give him enough credit. So, let me... Where is it? Okay, Eagle Sam. So this is some of these titles that I was kind of interested in based on their description. Okay. And it's almost every time when I look it up, actually look up the visual, it's never that interesting. It's like, okay, alright, I guess that's fair. It's a PV. Honestly, it kind of looks pretty good. Kind of looks like Dr. Seuss a little bit. Apparently it shows, what is it? It takes place in Los Angeles. Interesting. Earthian. There we go. Oh yeah. They were saying it's a pretty boy show. Cool. Not very good reviews. Oh well. An Elf Princess Rain. This is the one I was very... Because it's a Daichi. It is actually Daichi. Oh, come on. Is it this one? Elf Princess Rain, yeah. Yosei Hime, really, Princess Fairy. Fairy Princess Rain. Elf Princess Rain, okay. Looks like fun. 2-episode OVA. Mild nudity, rated R. 3 out of 10. Oof. Oof. That's interesting. Let's see if we can get some footage of that. I've seen footage! Anime review. Who's doing that? Kiss anime. I just want to fucking... like on YouTube or something. Like, how hard is that? Oh, it's just there. It's just on. Cool, I guess I'll watch that later. Fun. VHS no anime? Ooh. Ooh, get to the unrated version of Perfect Blue sub like, and that's just on YouTube, dude? Holy shit. What a get. When did he start doing this? Only 8 months ago. Honestly? Oh my gosh, you just got Gunbuster on here? This is cool, dude. This is like kind of an old VHS quality type of thing with subs and everything. Kind of cool. Big Ice Report, Project A-ko. All the Project A-kos. Dubs. Devil Hunter Yoko. Burn Up Dragon Half. You know, I should probably watch Dragon Half like this. I can't do that because I'm streaming. New Dominion Tank Police I've wanted to see. New Dominion Tank Police Volume 2. Appleseed, you should get this on. You should get the remaster to this. We just released it. Yeah, I mentioned I work for the anime industry a little bit. I've worked on some titles. Not some of these. I've not worked on any of these. Not so far, at least. I've worked on Appleseed though. I did work on Orgus. I did work not Orgus 2, but the original Orgus. What else did I work on? I'm curious. I'm sorry. Sorry, this is just weird. I did not work on Fatal Fury, even though we did just release that. I've not worked on Gunbuster, even though we did confirm that we're releasing that. Trojan Z. City Hunter Motion Picture. Revolutionary Girl Utena. Crest of the Rose. Baby! Papa, 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 kiss from the rock on the bird. Heck of a... Wait! These have trailers in them too? Dude! You seeing that? This is trailers in them too? Amazing! Wow. This is neat. Just subscribed, thanks. Blue Crate came out yesterday. Time to watch it in VHS quality. I know. Yeah. Like how everyone's done it. Did I put this as watch later? I think I did. is there another? Earthian, literally the one they were just talking about. Oh, there's a preview for Ninku the movie. No way. I wonder if that trailer's dubbed. Hold on, because that shit's not even dubbed, dude. At least to my knowledge. Clamp School Detectives. And then Dangayo. Yeah, heck yeah, I'm subscribing to this, but I'll watch that later. I kind of want to see. I want to see the trailer for Ninku the movie. FBI warning: Media Blaster! Holy shit! What is this? This was premiered too. This guy does premieres. Wow, Anime Works. Coming soon from Anime Works. Yeah, this is Ninku the movie. Is it dubbed? Kind of a jank trailer, if you're asking me. Kind of music, yeah. It's got cool animation, dude. Ninku's cool. Dude, they have the Tekken OVA on Laserdisc. Hell yeah. They don't even have it dubbed. I guess that's how they kind of hide the fact that they don't have it dubbed, really. Wait, this is the same thing. Surely this was dubbed by them. Oh, look at that font! Look at that! Wow. Oh, there's Earthian. Jeez, what a boring trailer. I'm fast forwarding through it and it's boring. What the fuck? Look at that. Doxed! Doxed! Okay. Unix. Okay. Okay, that's it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This was a trailer for Earthian, and then this is Earthian that I was on. They had a trailer for the thing that they were doing. What do you mean? What do you mean you put the trailer of the anime you had that is the thing? That's ridiculous. Anyway, what a get. Get to say. What were they doing? I wanna hold on. Duplicate. Yeah, I'll watch that later. Pretty cool. Anyway, what was the other thing? Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. What a nice get. Okay. Hour 26? Nice. I think we'll probably end it around that. I think I'll probably end it around this point. Unless anybody has some other ideas. Dude, they have the Tekken. Yeah, I haven't watched Ninku, but Sega Saturn fighting game was pretty good. Oh, nice, yeah. I have a video on Ninku. Not yet, but like it's coming. I've not. I'm very bad. I'm such a bad content creator, dude. I have like a job and shit. Ugh. I have three videos that are fully scripted, and I just have to start recording them and working on them. And then they have the Naruto video that's 23,000 words so far. Like, it's gonna be more. Ugh. So, have to figure that out. That's probably gonna be like, Naruto's gonna be like the rest of the year. Like, I think it's gonna be like a long time. I'm working on it very slowly. But I was like, at the very least, I should get these other videos done and out. Before really devoting to Naruto at this point. And I wanted to finish the Naruto script this month, but it didn't happen. And now it's the 4th of February. So I'm like, okay, I really just gotta actually focus. And I can't do it Saturday because I have work. Sunday I could probably do it. Start on the Ninku video. I'm gonna do a Ninku video mainly because I had someone translate some material for me. So I want to make sure I do that. And make sure I follow through and make that video. And then I have 2 follow-up videos from my Slam Dunk video. And those are separate ideas, so I don't just make one video out of that. So those will be 2 videos. And then the Naruto video. And that'll be like a long haul a la like Gurren Lagann. Except it's not going to be edited like Gurren Lagann whatsoever. Don't expect that. What do they say about X the movie? I know boomers hate that movie. Classic discourse we're having these days. Let's see. X the movie. X the movie. I'm not going to read the description. Based on the manga by in Asuka magazine from the Clamp Collective, X-Wood was preceded by lots of hype and a 25-minute music video made with the rock group X Japan, suitably titled X2. But the amount that has to be cut from a huge unfinished saga to make it into a coherent feature-length script can destroy the subtlety of a story and alienate fans of the original. Faced with compressing the massive melodrama without upsetting its fans, director Rintaro opted for style and emotion over clarity and substance. The look and mood of the original are there, just don't expect it to make much sense in terms of the plot. The 1999 was dropped from the title for its English language release since it didn't reach the video until 2000. Yoshiaki Kawajiri's X TV series followed in 2001, preceded by an episode 0 released on video, which includes a teasers of the show to come, but also footage that was not reused in the TV series proper. Put into production when the direction of the manga storyline was clearer, and taking advantage of the longer running time afforded by TV, the series revisits the story of the movie, but with greater opportunities for character development. Pretty narrow, pretty mixed, even-handed take there. Not like, fuck this movie. So, there you have it. It's about an hour 30. So, where's the CPMU Hakusho dub? I've only seen the Ninku movie, but it was great, knowing nothing of the show. Yeah, it's a good show. I'm going to talk about it, hopefully. Apocalypse CPM dubbed the second Yu Yu Hakusho movie because Funny's dub was popular on Cartoon Network. It sounds awful and everyone's name is mispronounced wrong. It is what it is. Anyway, you guys are great. I'm going to head out. You guys have a great week. It was a good stream. Yo, peace.